Hello Loomers, this is Chidero _T on Instagram, and I'm honored to bring you this fabulous bracelet. This is the Garter Bracelet by Adele Griffiths on Instagram. It's a wonderful design. These are the colors that Adele sent me in the email instructions, which is pretty cool because, you know, it's kind of manly, which we need more dude bracelets, especially for like J's, because I feel bad, you know, like we put all these pastel colors, and especially me, blinging. So I do like this color combo. Adele is one of my favorite loomers. If I can get a clear screen here for you. Like I said, she can be found on Instagram. She's really talented. She did a couple bracelets for the Bling for breast cancer contest, and they just came out truly amazing. This is the garter that she did for the breast cancer. It's great. So please check her out and definitely follow her, because she's an inspiration to us all in the loom world here. So this is a pretty cool bracelet because it's back in the old school looming, and it's very easy to do, yet it comes out pretty gorgeous. So you will need your loom set up in a 4-pin configuration. So your first and last pin will be at the same height, and your 2 middle pin bars will be straight. And in order to have this wrap around your wrist, you'll need 2 looms long. Adele had suggested using, if you have a 6-inch wrist, you would have 22 gaps to fit around. So you would go up 22 times, which is pretty much 2 looms. I'm just going to use the 1 loom today, and that way I'm just going to add a small chain to the back of it. So the colors that I chose, because I did want to honor the name, the Garter Bracelet, the outside of the bracelet, I'd like to use the glitter white from Rainbow Loom. That would be in replacing the black. I'd like to use the glitter white. These single chains that are in gold here, I'd like to use the Rainbow Loom metallic white. And for the center, I would like to use one of my favorites, which is the glitter blue. Rainbow Loom bands, always. So, let's get started. So your first step is going to be placing all of these crisscross bands on our loom. But before we do that, we are going to add our placing band right here, which will be the band that we tie our C-clip to. We're going to take 2 of your outside colors, so whatever color you choose to use for this outside, which I'm using the glitter white. We're going to place 2 bands, two bands around these 2 pegs right here. I'm going to just let those sit down right snug. Now, the color that you choose to use for your zigzag, which I chose to use the glitter blue, that's what we're going to be placing first. So I'm going to go from my center peg here, and I'm going to take that band up diagonally. Do the same thing on the other side, making an X. So this is the process all the way up the loom, taking your band, and preferably if we follow the same process together, we can loop together. So I'm placing the left one always first, and then I'm placing my right one. So always making sure you press down your bands, because we are going to be putting more bands on top. I hope you're able to see this color. But to me, a garter bracelet is like one of the things that a bride will get. You'll a lot of times see them with like baby pink or like a baby blue color. So to me, I think something borrowed, something new. What is it? Something borrowed, something blue, something old, something new, I believe. I don't know, I'm like old and been married for like 12 years, so I don't remember that fun stuff. Okay, so let's finish this up, and if you're using 2 looms, you can go ahead and pause the video and meet back with me whenever you're finished. Okay, so our first step is complete, which all we did was add in X bands crossed all the way up the center pegs of the loom. So our next step will be to add 2 single chains on the middle pin bars all the way up the loom. So I'm going to be using metallic white, Rainbow Loom metallic white. Again, I apologize, it's not the most colorful combinations chosen, but I'm just, you know, like I said, honoring the name of the bracelet is the garter, so I'm trying to make it a little girly. So you can either just place 1 row at a time going up, or you can place them at the same time, but fairly simple process. I think we're all pretty familiar with how to add these bands. Trying to pick like way better camera angles. I think I need to buy an extension for my camera so I can shoot from up above. I noticed whenever I moved, I had like a looming office. I had an office that I worked at home, and that came my looming room after when I was in the moving process. And my desk, I think, was a little bit lower. So now that I'm in my new place, this desk is a lot higher, so it's like bazam right in your face, camera angle. So now we have all of our bands on for step 2, which is just 2 single chains all the way up the loom. So we go on to our next step. Step 3 is to take your outer color, which to me is like the, I think of it as the frill. And we're going to place those bands, and I'm going to be using the glitter white. So we're just basically going to take this band and we're going to do zigzag configuration all the way up both sides of the loom. So starting out at the center, going out to the left, and then from the left back into the center. So from the center out to the next peg on the left, from the left peg back to the center. So we're doing a zigzag, or you can think of it as making V's, but that is our step on both sides of the loom. So I'll go ahead and show you on this side as well. Out from the center to the right peg, from that right peg back into the next one in the center, from the center out to the right pin bar, then from the right back into the center, doing that design all the way up our loom. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly place these bands because it's not a difficult step. This whole bracelet is so simple but so elegant. But I would like to do it with you, unless you have 2 looms. And boy, oh boy, do I want to add bling. Like, it is like eating me up right now because I have all those center bands in there with no bling on it. Like, this is a bling bracelet. And there's very, very few bracelets that I can choose to feel like, oh, I want to put rhinestones on it. I don't put rhinestones on very many bracelets. Well, one, they're pricey, and two, they're not always the easiest to find. I would totally rhinestone this one up. So if you're using 2 looms, you're going to continue up to your second loom. I am simply going to place my last band from on one loom. It's the second to the last peg or pin on the first pin bar to the middle. Now I'm going to take it onto this side now, and we're going to do the same process on the right side of our loom. And this is such a, I know the colors are so dull, but I have a good feeling that it's going to come out looking like a garter that a woman could literally wear as a garter at her wedding. So, boy, wouldn't that be awesome if there was a bride to be out there that chose a rubber band garter. I think that'd be awesome. Shows that we loomers in the loom world, we know what we're doing, huh? Okay, placing the last band, and that's closing off that side there. So that's it. We have completed placing all of our bands. So just to recap, the center color here, which is in red, the crisscrosses, they went down first. And as you can see, looking at the bracelet, they are on top. So, you know, you're looming the way you place the bands. So the last thing you loom is what comes out on top, basically. So down in the center, the first step was placing our crisscross bands going up the center of the loom. Our second step was laying 2 single chains all the way up the middle of the loom. And our last step was laying all of these, I call them crisscross bands, up both sides of the loom. And that's it. So let's turn our loom around, which it makes me laugh because Jay's Alvarez is like, turn the loom around. So now, of course, you know, that's the only thing I can think of batting in my head. But one last thing we need to do is we do need to add the cap band, which I'm going to use my outer color here, which is the glitter white, and we're going to double that and place it on these center pegs. So we're going to loom it the way we placed it. So the last step we did, which was placing these outer bands, those are going to be the bands that we loop up first. So go ahead inside your cap band here, grab the top band, and bring it back to that left peg to itself, to your drop shape or in good shape here. Grab your next one in the sequence, bring it back to the middle. So following the same step as adding the bands, going in, out, is how we're going to loop them up the loom. Pretty simple. So I'm going to speed it up a bit, trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Maybe I just have a contractor come in here and like build me the ultimate loom desk, where it has like the desk, you press a button and it changes colors at the top of it, whether it be the light or whatever. So if you're doing like a white bracelet, you just press a button and the top of your desk turns like purple. It'd be so awesome, wouldn't it? Because like mine's like a marble and you can't see anything on it. I'm just being funny. Oh, and I'd like to also point out that it's not even like midnight and I'm so doing a tutorial. I'm so making progress. Usually I do them at like 3 in the morning, so yay for me. Okay, finish up our last band on the left. So we have our whole left zigzag bands loomed. So let's go ahead and push all of those down, especially the ones in the center, because you know you still have looming to do there, so we need room on the top. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So go into the center right peg, grab your top band, which is going out to the right, grabbing the band inside there, which is always going to be the last band, bringing that to the center. So as long as you're grabbing your top bands in the center, you're in good shape. And on the outside pegs, it's always a single band in there to grab and place back upon itself. Anyway, back to my like dream loom desk. We could have the clapper. Oh, look at that. I can't talk. I'm sorry. We could have like the clapper and you like, you know, clap on. And that will help like with the lighting. I'm just teasing. That would be kind of weird, huh? Most of you probably don't even remember the clapper. If you do, comment below, because I feel a little bit old right now. Alright, so we completed our second step of the looping process, which was just looping up the right side of our bands, making sure that they are all pushed down in the middle. Make it easier for our next step. Alright, so step 2 of laying the band process was laying up the single chains, which means step 2 of the looping process will be looping up the center chains. So I'm just going to go up one side, come back down, and get the other. So go back in that cap band, grab the top band, loop it forward. Go into this one, make sure you're grabbing your top band and looping it forward. If you're making a teardrop, you've always got it right. So when we get into the center ones, you always make sure that you're pressing back, because we did the zigzag configuration, pressing back on that to dig in there to grab that white band or your next band on top. So you just have like 2 bands to press back. I think this is going to come out really pretty. These colors. Alright, so coming back down, and we're going to loop up the second middle chain, going down inside the cap band, grabbing the top band and looping it forward. Same thing we just did. Oh my gosh, I think I'm having like a bling attack, or blingxiety. That's what I'm gonna call it. I have blingxiety because I cannot believe that I'm doing this bracelet and I have no bling on it. Oh, that's insane, huh? Wow. I have blingxiety. That's hilarious. Blingxiety, bling attack. I have all kind of medical conditions when it comes to bling, don't I? Alright, so we got both of our single chains loomed up. Make sure your bands in the middle, once again, are pushed down because we still need to loop up our crisscross bands or X bands underneath, and then we will be done. So we're going to start once again in our bottom left peg. Grab the bottom band here, and this is going, whoop, I'm sorry. You're always going to want to grab the top band. So because I started out placing all of my bands from the left, then right, when you flip your loom around, you're going to be looping it in the opposite order. So any band, whatever band is on top, that's which one you're going to loop first. So in my case, it is the right band and then the left band. So it will be in that same process the whole way up the loom if you did your left one first the whole time. If by any chance you might have put a right one first or whatnot, just like I said, like this one here, I'm noticing my left one is on top. So whichever band is on top, that's which one you're going to grab first. Just makes it a neater looking. See, like this one here, my right one is on top. So while I was gabbing and talking away, I didn't place all my bands probably in the correct order. Well, I put them in the right order, but you know what I mean. Okay, so as I mentioned before, if you're doing 2 looms, which will make your bracelet go the whole way around your wrist, just pause your video if you need assistance on any of the next steps. So 2 looms would keep going, 1 loom, we are finished, and this is what your bracelet will look like. So now what we do is, what I'd like to do is grab all of these side bands and take them off, because once I go inside of these 2 pegs to grab our C-clip band, my hook's already taken, and so I'm just going to go ahead, and you can do it with your fingers or with your hook, and just slide off all of the bands on your outer peg. And I also like to do my cap band because it's stretching. Had this have been last year, it'd have been like bazam, and I would have just tore this thing off the loom. But you come to appreciate loom designs and the designers, and you don't want to tear the bracelet off because it kind of ruins the design. So now we go into the left middle peg. And remember, we put 2 bands in there in the beginning, so we have a stronger connector. We're going to grab those bottom 2 bands, give it a tug. Now I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to hold those 2 bands. We're going to go into the next center peg on the right, and we're going to look for those same 2 bands. Let me just swirl this around real quick, make sure. There we go. Okay. I'm going to bring those up. So, going to slide that back a little bit, grab the first 2. So, we've got them on our hook, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of tug. That way I'm kind of helping the bands come off the first 2 pegs, and the rest of the bracelet always tugging a little bit forward. to give it a little bit of relief before pulling it off. Ooh, it's a strong bracelet. All right. So let's add a C-clip or an S-clip so we don't lose those bands at the end there. I just so happened to grab a S-clip, which I'm not too fond of. So you should have 4 bands that are going in there because we doubled that cap band at the end. So I'm just going to secure that for just a moment. Oh, look how gorgeous. This is beautiful. This is absolutely a garter bracelet. I mean, I would seriously wear this if I was going to be married. Like, it is gorgeous. So we have the glitter white on the outside, which gives it a lacy effect, and I'm just kind of tugging on them. It's not abnormal for some bands to get caught or whatnot, and I chose this metallic white because I thought it would be a good, it kind of looks like it closes in your blue. But this is beautiful. I'm going to stick it on my wrist. It is beautiful. Look at that. Wow. Great, great job, Adele. We love all of your creations. Thank you so much for allowing me to make this bracelet into a tutorial. As the flipograms, I have like 500 pictures sometimes, and it kind of gets a little confusing, but I'm very appreciative and honored to make this for Adele. Her name and link to her Instagram account is in the box below, so please check that out. And hashtag on Instagram the Garter Bracelet if you do choose to make this design. Also Chidero_T and Adele.Griffiths. We'd love to see your designs and different color combinations and whatnot. So if I inspired you, please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to see further designers, creations of others or myself, we've got some good blingers that are coming up. Please click the subscribe button. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I can't even say let's bling it. I don't even know how to close out my video. I told you I'm having bling-anxiety. No, I'm just teasing. Thanks for watching. Bye.